Yo, what's good with y'all, bro? So look, man, I got a banger for y'all real quick. You feel what I'm saying? We gonna go into this MORANT build, alright, for 2K21 next gen. Before we get into the build, bro, make sure y'all like the video, make sure you sub, comment, and all that. Let me know if you end up making this build, using it, you know what I'm saying, leveling it up and all that, upgrading and all that, and let me know if it worked for you, bro. But this is definitely the MORANT build, alright. So obviously you're going with point guard, you feel what I'm saying? If you really watched MORANT, then you know he one of the most explosive point guards in the league right now, you feel what I'm saying? So we put him at the height 6'3", I think that's what he listed as. As far as the weight, it didn't matter too much, but you kind of want to go a little lower than 200 just so you can get that speed and that drop and dunk right. And we put his wingspan at 6'8", alright? So the reason I like this build is because it's going to fit a lot of schemes as far as, you know, 3-on-3s, and even 2-on-2s that y'all may run. It'll work in the rec. Like, this build is really gonna play just like how Ja will play in real life, and as you can see, he been going crazy ever since he came in the league, you feel me? But off the rip, we had to go with the 95 drive and dunk, maxed out the drive and dunk and the drive and layup. All right, so that's how you gonna get the, you know, Hall of Fame posterizer, Hall of Fame giant slayer, fearless finisher. And that's all Ja right there. Hall of Fame, Giant Slayer, and posterizer for sure. I know y'all seen him almost give Kevin Love one of the craziest posterizers in the league. Is almost, if he would have completed that dunk, Kevin Love would have been RIP. You feel what I'm saying? Pack him up, first day shipping. But yeah, that was obviously one of the biggest parts of this build, was the finishing and the inside scoring pretty much. So I put the close shot up a little bit. I know close shot don't really mean nothing in this game, but just for the sake of the build and the sake of the badges, I put it up. I put the drive and layup up, drive and dunk up, you already know. So another thing about Ja, bro, a lot of y'all know this, a lot of y'all may not, but his playmaking skills is crazy. He's not really the best dribbler, so to speak, but he's a great passer. He shared the ball, he get everybody involved. So that's why you gotta make sure you get your playmaking badges. And obviously I'm gonna go in depth, you know, about the badges later, which ones to put on, which ones he really excelling and all that. But just making sure you getting that 20 badges for the playmaking is important so that you can have options and have a lot of Hall of Fames at the end of the day, you feel me? And another thing about this build, you know, MORANT isn't really the most, you know, consistent shooter, but he can knock it down. So once we get to the shooting badges, I'm gonna show y'all. We gonna have a couple shooting badges, not a lot, but just enough so that he can knock it down when he's wide open, even knock it down off the dribble, alright? And the reason I put up perimeter defense, if you don't know how 2K is set up this year, especially on next gen, you either can have great perimeter defense and no steals, or the other way around. Now on my regular build, who I play with in the park, I have all steals and I don't have any perimeter defense. On this build, I put perimeter defense because then you can get clamps, and MORANT does play good defense, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely suggest y'all get clamps. The highest he goes is gold on his build, but you really don't need clamps too high. I mean, if you go Hall of Fame, you're pretty much on some lockdown type time anyway. But he can get 4 upgrades right there, so at least he can get clamps, and that's important because if you out here playing in the park, especially on 2-on-2, you gotta stay in front of your people. You feel what I'm saying? Especially at the guard position, you gotta stay in front of your people. So right here, I was just playing around with the badges. I took a couple away from the close shot. It took a couple away from my finishing badges, but I wanted to get these shooting badges a little higher, so I ended up putting some more on the mid-range and the three-pointer, and I ended up getting 9 potential badges for the shooting. All right, if you can get 9 upgrades for this shooting, I almost got 10, but I didn't want to play around with it too much. You know what I'm saying? Because the build was pretty much done. At this point, it was just picking out what you wanted, you know, a couple extra numbers that you really wanted as far as the attributes go. So I went more on three-pointer, and then I just put the free throw up so the 9 badges can come up. All right, as you can see, when I tried to put up the mid-range of the three-pointer, I kept getting capped at 5 badges. When I put up the free throw, I got 9. All right, so as far as the takeover for the MORANT build, you gotta go with finishing moves as your primary. That's just a must because he's such a great finisher. And for the second one, you can really, you know, play around with it. I wouldn't really go sharpshooter, just because those two right there aren't really, you know, that's limitless. And I think the other ones, I'm not even sure what the other one is, but I went with team ratings booth. All right, you know, for the build, he's literally a playmaker, and that's what he does on the court. He play makes and he drives. So as you can see, shades of MORANT. We got a scoring machine, and that's how we, you know, it's also similar to Russell Westbrook and Damian Lillard, you feel me? Because, you know, he does play just like Russell Westbrook on the low, you feel what I'm saying? So getting into these badges, bro, we're gonna start it off with, of course, the finishing badges. All right, MORANT is definitely getting Hall of Fame posterizer. The fact that this is also a guard build is going to make it even crazier, because Hall of Fame posterizer on guard builds just go too crazy. But I gave him posterizer, slithery finisher, and I started off with silver giant slayer at first. He's definitely a giant slayer, like in real life. Like, he literally tries to dunk on anybody under the rim, bro. He does not care. You feel what I'm saying? This man has no fear at all going to the rim. You feel me? He don't care. As far as heat seeker, I just put it on bronze just to have it, to make sure that you get that little boost with the takeover. You know what I'm saying? Because with this build, you're gonna be doing a whole lot of finishing, a whole lot of dunking, a whole lot of, you know, speedy type time. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely had to put that on there. That's the thing about these badges on 2K, bro. Like, it's only a couple of them that really work that you really need to care about. You feel what I'm saying? Like, why would I need postman technician and all that? Like, certain badges, bro, is just unnecessary. But as you can see, I ended up putting giant slayer on Hall of Fame for the final badge. So make sure you get those badges right. Now for the shooting, it's really just about how can you make your wide open shots when you have them. Because with this build, they going, you know, if they notice that, all right, this is a MORANT build, they're going to try to force you to shoot. You feel me? But you still got that 80-something 3-ball. You still got that 80-something 3-ball. Not even including no boost or nothing. So I put on deep threes, gold, hot zone hunter on silver. Hot zone hunter is one of the best badges on current gen and next gen. All right, you need hot zone hunter just to make shots in the park, I feel like. So I definitely put that on there. And then at this point, I was just playing around trying to see, you know, imagine how he played. And I took blinders and did off. Like, he's not that type of shooter. You know, he know how to create space and he can knock it down. He's not gonna do no dead eye blinder type stuff. You feel me? Now with the playmaking badges, this is also very important for this build, because MORANT is a great playmaker, like I told y'all already. So definitely put quick first step on Hall of Fame. You need that badge on any build that can get a Hall of Fame. Just helps you dribble faster, and literally that quick first step, bro, like coming out of that triple dip position. You feel me? I put floor general on because when he's on the court, he does make his players, you know, better. That's why I chose that takeover. He makes his teammates better every game he plays. He plays super hard and gets them involved. So you gotta put floor general on. Bullet passer, just because, you know, that's gonna help your passes get out faster. And I put on gold dimer and silver downhill and silver ankle breaker. He did break a couple ankles since he's been in the league, so definitely worth it. And for the defensive badges, bro, I just put on clamps. That's mainly the one you want, so you can make sure you stay in front of your people. And then just bronze ankle braces just to make sure you don't get cracked. But that's the MORANT build, bro. Make sure you like the video and sub. Let me know how the build work for you. I'm out this joint, you feel me?